I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, May the 16th, brought to you in part by Performance Livestock Analytics. The Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Performance Livestock Analytics, Dustin Balsley, he wants to help small producers compete and stay in business. That's the way he grew up there in northern Iowa, guys. And with Performance Beef, it's as easy to use as your cell phone, and it simplifies feeding, performance, and health. For more information, go to performancelivestockanalytics.com. Box Beef responds, and for the last few months, packers have been promising, almost threatening, significant cut in the slaughter. And we have seen a light slaughter. We've seen a light slaughter for months and months on end, but it's still well over 600,000. And with heavier weights, hasn't been that much of a drop in beef production. But they continue to say, oh, we're just going to go on 32-hour weeks, and we're going to cut here and we're going to cut there. And it's not just one packer. It's pretty much all your major packers have done it. And it hasn't done a whole lot until just recently. And within the last week, or less than a week, we've seen your choice cutouts go up $11.38, really, in 6 days there. And so why all of a sudden the scramble? Well, we're just now getting to the big demand time. So we've got Memorial Weekend coming up. That's one of the big ones. We've got graduation celebrations coming up. It's going to be a lot of grilling going on. And some of your wholesale buyers, your end users, they're getting nervous that they're not going to have enough product on hand. Those that are hand to mouth, they need product right away, and then your packers have been able to really pump those prices up. And it's not that these buyers are bidding the price up. It's not like that. It's not like they go to an auction and they start bidding against one another to do it. Your packers just see more demand, more buyers wanting product, so they just charge more for it. Wouldn't that be nice? But your packers always get to control the supply on both ends, whether it be the cattle end or the beef end. They've got full control. But you know, it's not really fair, but that's just the way it is, guys. But so they see more people that are wanting to buy product, current delivery, then they're gonna jack the price up. I think they've actually been keeping the price pretty low there, trying to hold the market back a little bit, because this higher price and the market on cattle, the higher price we've seen in box beef cutout values the last several days has now emboldened some of your negotiated fat cattle sellers, and they're going to want more money now, thinking that the packers have a little more room to pay it. But we'll have to see how things go. But that is a significant gain in price of choice box beef, and we'll see if that holds up. But you know, I've told you several times before, the market that we actually get to see that's put out by USDA Market News of box beef cutout values, that is more watered down than the little drip of negotiated trade that we get to see on cattle. So the lion's share of their business is done through formulas, just like the cattle are, through forward contracting, just like the cattle, and so all we're seeing is just the current delivery spot stuff. And it is good to see that price getting higher, and we want them to get higher prices. We hope that the wholesalers and the end users don't end up cranking up the retail price anymore, because that's just going to hurt consumer demand. But it's an interesting time here, and we'll have to see what happens and see if the few guys that still sell cattle negotiated cash are going to stick to their guns and try to get more, or are they going to basis jump because we've still got June live cattle contracts, you know, about $7 cheaper than what last week's cash market was. We'll just have to see what happens as we go forward here. If you look at the board for Wednesday, middle of the week, June live cattle futures were up 7 cents at 178 and a quarter. August was up 40 cents at 176.52. Your back months were up 12 cents to up 35. May feeder cattle, and now your spot month there for May, which it's got to back right into that spot. It's got to meet up with your CME cash feeder cattle index here in just the next few days or next several days, guys. So it's just going to try to align itself. So it needed to back up a little bit, and then your May contract was down 12 cents at 243.15. It may have to back up a little bit more here later this week to meet up with that. But you go out front and they were all higher. August was up 20 cents at 255.87. Your back months on feeder cattle were up 32 to up 65. July corn was up 3/4 of a cent a bushel at 463 and a quarter. Beans are up 2.5 cents at 12.16. Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 2.5 cents at 677.5 cents a bushel. Fat cattle trade, we saw a couple little deals that don't have really anything to do with the establishment of a market. They're just barely worth even talking about. Nebraska sold 69 head direct of course they're in the 5-area feeding region at a live price of 187. That was in the range of last week, but not sure why somebody wanted to do that. Kansas sold 400 head at 184, which is basically steady, but that's not establishing anything. Your few guys that still sell negotiated are going to ask more again this week, and they'll wait, and the packers will wait them out and hope that the board crashes. And if they have to wait until Friday to pay steady money, that's what they'll do. Did have a fat cattle auction. Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota had a fat cattle auction. Not a big run, but still it was enough to talk about. Slaughter steers are $3 to $4 higher. Your conventional slaughter steers and heifers sold from 189 to 192.50, with a few program steers up to 196. We wish we could get that on a direct basis there, but not enough competitive bidding to get to levels like that. Box beef cutout values, like I've been telling you, they were up big earlier in the week. They were up big again on Wednesday, or fairly big. Choice cuts 306.77 up 238, and compared to Thursday of last week, that was up $11.38. Huge gain there, guys. Select cuts up 49 cents at 294.31. Your slaughter coming back just a little bit, but still probably going to be disappointing. But it's looking like it's still going to be well over 600,000 unless they just completely pull the rug out from under it on Friday and when no Saturday kill. But slaughter 363,000 through the first 3 days of the week. That's just 4,000 less than last week, 15,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Your Punchy pick of the month will be coming up here. We're over halfway through the month, so get to thinking about that. We've had several picks come in. We're having a lot of fun with that. If you're out doing chores, working cattle, doing whatever, you see something punchy, take a pic of it, send that pic to Punchy at NationalBeefWire.com. Email it to us. We'll look through them, and at the end of the month, the grand prize winner gets a bunch of cool stuff from Beaver Feed Company in Beaver, Oklahoma. Of course, you're going to get some cool stuff, and they got the coolest Beaver County stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. And then the biggest part of the grand prize is the whole case of Therapies, that revolutionary product that's scientifically proven to calm cattle down, take their anxiety away, which helps in anything that you're doing with cattle, but especially whenever you're moving them, weaning them, harvesting them. Anytime you're fooling with cattle, it's a whole lot easier if they're not under a lot of stress, guys. But let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction based on an 800-pound cash auction steer up through your middle 12 states, sitting at 242.76 late on Wednesday. That was up 39 cents from the end of Tuesday's trade, so gained some more with bigger sales on Wednesday. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index was 241.79. If you're looking at a special sale coming up this weekend, how about Bluegrass Stockyards in Campbellsville, Kentucky? They're having their special Holstein feeder sale. And you don't see enough Holstein feeders to have a special sale most places, but they do there in Kentucky, and those are pretty impressive sales at Campbellsville for the special Holstein steer feeder special. So if you've got some, get them in there. If you're looking for some, that's a good place to find them. You can watch that sale on DVAuction.com this Saturday. Coming to you from Old Cheyenne, I'm on my way up to Buffalo, Wyoming to give a presentation to the Wyoming Ag Bankers group there. Looking forward to that. I've talked to them before in the past, and a lot of good people involved in that. So just taking a little trip up to speak to them. But let's look at your big sales on Wednesday. How about OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma? That's 7,800, including the light run of calves that they had on Tuesday, but was mostly feeder cattle, and mostly cattle coming off graze out wheat, guys, right there in central Oklahoma. And it was a humdinger of a sale. Your feeder steers were $8 to $10 higher. The market reporters did say that there were some cattle or steers weighing over 1,000 pounds that sold as much as $12 higher than last week. Feeder heifers were $5 to $8 higher. A light test of calves on Tuesday sold $3 to $6 higher. El Reno was your National Beefwire stick-out sale of the day. Of course, this is just on the Wednesday sale, just on the feeder sale, so you don't see very many calves hardly at all or any lightweights. But go down there to the best tested weights. How about 703 head of 7-weight steers in El Reno, Oklahoma? They averaged 764, with a weighted average price of $259.61. 1,261 head of 8-weight steers at OKC West at an average weight of 863 at $233.44, and over 1,500 head of 9-weight steers in El Reno on Wednesday had an average weight of 947 and an average price of $220.59. Look at the heifers, two big well-tested groups there. 1,112 head of 7-weight heifers averaged 758 at $228.59, and 777 head of 8-weight heifers averaged 846 pounds with a weighted average price of $217.72. The cattle sold good just to the west there too at Cherokee Sales Company in Cherokee, Oklahoma. They had a big run, 3,500 head for them of feeders on Wednesday. And in their best tested weights, the big heavy feeders coming off the graze out wheat, 704 head of the 8-weight steers averaged 856 at $238.05, and 659 head of 9-weight steers in Cherokee, Oklahoma averaged 948 at $223.81 or $223.31. So good sale there at Cherokee Sales Company in Cherokee, Oklahoma. How about some individual quotes from around about Platte Livestock Market in Platte, South Dakota? They sell 63 steers weighed 905 at $246 and a quarter. Wow. How about market there? It's close to my heart there in South Central Missouri. It's the South Central Regional Stockyards at Vienna, Missouri. Good folks running that sale. They sold 55 head of steer calves, weighed 506 at $364. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday, your Macrocin, no BS. Top quote for the day, come out of Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. Greg Ryken has good fat cattle sales on Tuesday. He has good feeder cattle sales on Wednesday. On Wednesday, he sold 123 steers that weighed 1016 and still bring 231.10. That's your feeder flash for Thursday.